we're asking you to try something that you've never tried before and be something that you've been dreaming about forever. So if I do this and I fail, then I'm a failure at my dream. We will hold what we are doing just to protect the dream.
Chance Scoggins.
Stacy, Jagger, come on.
I'm so glad
We're here.
Right?
It's great.
So, Chance, you are a business strategist. You are brilliant with creatives, and we've known each other a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to getting to know you in a different way today and being able to ask you questions that maybe I haven't been able to ask before.
That'll be fun.
About your work with all kinds of people that are stuck, entrepreneurs, business owners, lots of high-performing people that are stuck in different areas of their lives. But you have this brilliant superpower of helping people find their purpose. And you've done that for me. And I'm so grateful. So maybe give us a little bit of your background and how you stumbled upon figuring out that you have the ability to see where certain people can't see what their potential is, what their purpose is. You have a kind of an excavation process that you do with folks. And I would love to hear more about how you got here. How did you stumble upon the work that you do as a business coach?
It's great. First of all, super honored to be here. Watching your trajectory has been so inspiring for me.
Thank you.
And to get to be a part of your journey has been a great honor. So to see this happening and for this to go out into the world, for you to help all kinds of people in new ways, I'm glad to be a part of it.
Thank you, Chance.
So my journey, as you might know, started in the music industry. I came here thinking I wanted to be a Christian artist. Very, very sure as a young kid, this is what I'm born for. I'm going to change the world with a song.
Yeah.
Then I got here and I figured out what that job actually is and was like, I don't actually want that job. So life kind of pulled me into the recording studio. And I was in the music industry for 25 years. Studio singer, producer, arranger, and that was my job. But what made me special in that role was intuition. Like I could hear the part that nobody else would put there. I could hear the potential in a singer to do something that they weren't sure that they could do themselves. And I had so much belief because I had a craft of music tools that I was like, oh, I can teach you. I can get you to sing if you do this. I can get you to hear something if we go this way. And I felt very, very confident in tools. Well, 25 years later, I started thinking like, it's a bigger story than we want to tell today, but God just started moving me through relationships with artists who had become friends, saying, can I take you to lunch? And then they just bawl their eyes out at something that was happening. Or can I take you to lunch and we're strategizing this new tour? Or will you look at this contract? I've always been in the middle of business and creativity. And a lot of people aren't that. A lot of people are really great at this or really great at this. I feel like I stand right in the middle. And so God just started shifting me into coaching in a way that I didn't even notice it happening because it was happening with friends. And I certainly, all of my identity was still very much wrapped up in what I could do musically. But little by little, I'm having these conversations with people and we're seeing like major things happen. And over time, I'll skip all the backstory and just say, there came a moment when I realized I had labeled my gift music. And I'd been told all my young life, you're here to sing. Like your mission is this, your calling is this. But there came a time when I realized actually the thing that God planted in me was my intuition, and my ability to see, my ability to hear what isn't there, my ability to imagine And I was right. Like I trusted that because it had been proven over and over and over. Well, these conversations, it starts happening that I'm doing it not with music, not with a song, but with people's lives and their businesses. And it was so inspiring to get to help someone unlock something in themselves that they didn't know was there, or that they knew was there, but they couldn't believe. Or that they knew and they believed, but they needed a tool. They needed something that would make it possible. Well, I had done that for 25 years, and it perfectly set me up for what I'm doing now. So that's how I got here. Yeah.
And you are so sought out by people who cannot seem to stumble upon their own genius.
Mm-hmm.
I have gleaned that from you. Like, people really reach out to you when they are so close but yet so far from the thing that they're trying to unlock.
Mm-hmm.
And you have this sort of genius and being able to see what nobody else can see, including with my own story.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can back up a minute.
Yeah.
And when, I sat in your office
Mm-hmm.
and I felt very stuck in a private practice setting,
Mm-hmm.
feeling like I would never get out of the four walls
Mm-hmm.
of that office.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but the first thing that you said when you sat down, I'll never forget this, Stacy. I'm so proud of you because of this. Like, the first words you said is, "I'm going to die in my office." And it so landed on me. You were just like, there's no way out for me, because all of these kids, my wait list is so long. Mm-hmm. And all of these kids need me, and I will serve them until I die.
Until I fall over.
So I can predict my whole life. Like, I'll come in tomorrow and I'll have a full load, and I'll come in the next day and I'll have a full load. And if by chance someone drops out, there are 100 people waiting to take these slots. Mm-hmm. You were overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. You were very sad because there was something inside of you that was just you. It was different than this. And this is a part of you, and this is really important, but it's not the totality of what you do helping these families. Mm-hmm. It feels very, very important. It's certainly a part of your calling, but it wasn't all of it. Mm-hmm. And that part of you that was just shelved for too long was desperate and crying out.
Yeah.
I saw that immediately. Mm-hmm. Then we were like, okay, then, I knew you, I'd observed you, but let's say that I hadn't. Then I would then go, okay, well, what is this person actually working with? The pain is real. The pain is there. The pain is letting us know it's time to move.
It's a teacher.
It is a teacher.
It's a teacher.
We're all trying to not feel pain, mm-hmm. but the pain is there. It's a messenger. It's here to say, hey, there's more to you. There's more for you. There's more through you. But what is behind you and what you did yesterday will not get you there. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to upset the apple cart and embrace insecurity if you want it.
And that's that growth edge that mm-hmm. you are so good at pushing people past.
Mm-hmm. Well, it comes down to belief. I'm not going to push anybody into something that I don't believe. Mm-hmm. But if I see it, then I know it's possible. I know it's possible. Like with you, we're sitting there going, okay, she's got a legit problem. You're dealing with kids, you're dealing with families. You can't just like walk away from that and go do a podcast. Mm-hmm. Like, these people need you. Mm-hmm. So there had to be a way for you to get from here to here and take care of everything that you're responsible for, but also take care of you. Mm-hmm. There had to be a way. And at that point, you did not see the way, but I did.
You sure did.
I saw.
You sure did.
I saw it. And
so let me stop there because I am notorious
Yeah.
for having this creative mind, and I kind of went on 7 different journeys before you reeled me back into the lane that I was already in. I'm sure that you sit down with other creatives that kind of try to. Is that an avoidance strategy to do the thing?
Sometimes it is.
I'd love
Sometimes
to
it
hear
is.
more about that.
Okay, in your case, I don't think that's what it was. You were not avoiding. You wanted to do it, but you didn't know which idea was right. So you're like, maybe this, and maybe this, and maybe this. And sometimes your ideas, you would come in, were just crazy. Just crazy ideas. And it's like,
I lived off those crazy ideas as a child.
I know.
Yeah.
But what was cool is that even a bad idea is really clarifying, because you go, that's crazy. Why is that crazy? That's crazy because you can't blah, blah, blah. You can't fit this with this, or nobody cares about that from you, or whatever. Like, you can find a reason why that's crazy, and that brings clarity. You know, so if that's crazy, what's not crazy? What's the opposite of that? You know, so I didn't mind your just wild ideas, and some of them were insane, but I didn't mind them. I loved them because they all served a purpose. They all got us to the right things. And other people, for sure, I mean, especially once we set a course, that's when it comes up. People want to perpetually prepare. I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to prepare this way, because it makes perfect sense from a neurological standpoint. We know that we're leaving what feels safe and secure because we could predict the past because we've done it, So I can just keep doing what I've done, and there's some semblance of security in that. You're asking me to go and do something very, very different. I'm going to feel exposed. People are going to judge me. I might not have what it takes to go do this thing. I feel vulnerable, and I feel watched and judged, and nothing's even happened yet, but they're self-judging. They're preparing themselves to be judged somewhere or to fail somehow. And so fear gets stirred up, and what ends up happening is just inevitably, they're like, okay, I need to prepare this way. I need to do this thing. I need to get this credential. I need to think about so-and-so. It's all these dragging your feet and all these things like, I will someday get to that.
So you see this as a pattern with your clients?
In everyone. It's in everyone. And, that's great because it's everyone. It's me too. We all do this. It's human. It's human nature. That's why everyone needs help. We need help because we're all going to struggle inside our own story, inside our own mind. And to have someone that's kind of a neutral party who's also trustworthy and smart and has some talent, some skills, if someone can see you and see what you're doing and not judge it, have compassion for it, and help you to the other side of it, like that's worth its pound in gold, because otherwise we just loop. We chase our tail. How many of us have spent years chasing our tails, dreaming about something, talking about something,
and not
but
execution,
not doing anything? And the worst part is when we get into kind of that, we draw back the bow. That's when we hesitate the most, like getting the bow in your hand, finding a bow, like all this stuff. We love all that. Like, okay, I'm going to go and buy a bow. I'm going to buy an arrow. But so I'm going to shop. What's the best bow? It's going to take me 8 years to figure out the best bow, But finally, once we get it in our hand, that's when the serious doubt creeps in. And that's when you need someone in your corner to go, let the freaking arrow fly. Dang it. Like for real, you need someone to just shake you up. And even if it's stirring, even if it kind of, I don't want to say mean, but there's some people, everybody knows I'm coming from love, but there are times where I'm stern because sometimes that's what we need to.
A firm parent.
A firm parent, a firm friend, a firm partner. Someone who's totally for you and will not allow you to waste yourself, So can I talk about you for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
So I just think it's a good example because anybody watching this knows you, loves you, appreciates what you're doing. At that time, you were confused, sad, stuck.
Very stuck.
And arguing for your limitation. telling me all the reasons why something couldn't change. You did it over and over and over. And every time I suggested, hey, well, you might need to change your rate. You might need to find another counselor to take some of these people. Whatever it was, you told me no about 18 times before you did it. And then if I was asking you to make this kind of change, you would only make this small little change. You know, what we know now, given time, if you had just done the big thing, who's to say what would be true today? Mm-hmm. But you were comfortable with the small little step. Mm-hmm. And I would mock you for the small step. I would mock you for the small step. But that's the step that you were willing to take at that time. Mm-hmm. And it worked. Mm-hmm. It got you here. And it's continuing to, over time, you got through all of the obstacles that were, would you say they were really just in your mind? Most of them?
You know, Chance, I have to say that until my mother passed away, I perceived that to be fully transparent was going to harm her in some way.
You said that many times, actually.
And, you know, was that a real thing or not? I'll never know. But I made just little baby steps in the right direction until she passed a couple years ago. And now I feel truly free to just, you know, let it all hang out, if you will.
Okay, can we use that?
Absolutely.
For the benefit of someone else?
Absolutely.
If we can at least say, can we know if it was real or not? Like, what we do know is it was a choice. It was your decision. So it wasn't true or not true. It's what you chose. And if we can just admit that I'm choosing to wait, not I can't do it because mom's still alive. If I do X, Y, and Z, it will be harmful to her. That's a story in your mind. And that's fine, but we can be powerful instead of a victim. I'm a victim to my mother existing. You know, I can't be me because my mom's still alive. You know, if we could have just instead say, I'm choosing. Yeah, I'm choosing to wait.
Yeah.
I don't want the chance of harm. That's a powerful thing instead of feeling like a victim. Someone is listening who's in a situation that they're blaming someone else or something else outside
For not
of them.
doing the thing.
For not doing the thing. And that's a victim mentality.
Yeah.
And we're not victims. We're choosing. And you can take your power back just by saying, I'm choosing. I choose this for now. And I might decide something different later. You know, it's just like to operate from a place of telling yourself that you're a victim when you're not. Everybody can see that you made a choice not to move forward because your mom didn't ask that of you. And nobody like cuffed you and told you couldn't, you know, that was just a choice, you know? And that's a really powerful thing. There's a lot of power in a choice to wait, you know? But looking back, I would have liked for you to have made some other steps. Who's to say that you have to go and tell your full truth and whatever?
Right.
You could have done some other things, but your body and your brain were working against you because we were working to take you out of something that you knew and you understood, you were a boss at. Everybody loved you and appreciated you. It was predictable. It was very, very safe. And we're asking you two things. One, let's go do something different. Who knows? Who knows if it'll work or not, but you're going to be out in front of everybody and everybody's going to see it. Okay, let's do that. Who wants to go do that? Nobody wants to do that. And two, we're asking you to try something that you've never tried before and be something that you've been dreaming about forever. So maybe the dream dies. If I do this and I fail, then I'm a failure at my dream. So someone listening is going to definitely need to hear that we will hold what we are doing and stay stuck, choose stuck, just to protect the dream. So, because if I take action on it and it doesn't happen, then I don't get to dream. at least if I stay here, I have the hope that the dream gives me. So don't move.
How common is this?
It's especially common in women. Especially common in women. But I think it's true of everybody. But I think women struggle with it so much. I notice in my practice that women are last on their list. They expect to support and to champion and send everybody else off and kind of shelve themselves in the process. So they, really smart, capable, strong, gifted, talented, skilled women who have every reason to succeed, and they would. I watch them shelve themselves for years or months. And coming to me for permission, really for permission, which is interesting. Guys don't do that.
They don't do that.
Guys don't ask for permission like girls do. It's sad. It's not fair. But I definitely do notice that. And then men come with a false self. Women are vulnerable and they just tell me all their stuff and, they put it out there, and men come and I've got to chip away to find out who's really in there and what's actually underneath it all. That's the stopper, the thing that keeps their brakes on. It's sad. Both are sad.
Isn't it so interesting that your name is Chance?
Yeah.
No, really.
Yeah.
Like you are inspiring people to take chances.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Did I ever tell you the story?
I don't think so.
So it's longer than you'll want to hear today, but my dad named me Chance on purpose. And when we had the conversation about it, when I was a kid, I didn't like my name because nobody else had my name at that time. I was the only one.
Yeah.
And he said, I was kind of mocking him one day, for his bad taste in naming me this or whatever. He said, hey, I did it on purpose, and let me tell you why. He said, Chance, I want you to understand and be reminded every single time somebody says your name that you're never going to get ahead in anything that matters unless you're willing to take a risk. Not love, not money, not business, not faith, not health, nothing. You don't get ahead unless you're willing to do something that feels risky to you. And my entire life, chance. So it's in my blood. It's in my
100%.
fabric. Yeah.
Can you talk about neuro-linguistic programming?
Sure.
How did you stumble upon this? How do you integrate it in your work?
Yeah. So neuro, brain, linguistic, language, programming. We're programmed, So it's more complicated than we could get into today. But basically, you upset the neuro systems, the systems that are ingrained in us. And some people do it shockingly. Tony Robbins is he'll cuss you out. He'll get up and make you, do 1,000 jumping jacks and whatever. They'll upset it. For me, I'm much more gentle about it. But years ago, before I even was coaching or doing any sort of advisory, I read psychology books for fun. I wanted to understand myself. Yeah. Why am I the way I am? Am I pliable? Can I change? Okay, sidebar. You and I both grew up in the church. And when I was little, everything just throw a Bible verse at it. And, behold, all things are made new, I just never experienced that. I was always told what at the moment of salvation, you're a new creation, but I was not experiencing that. And no one else was either. Yeah. So I was confused. I really started studying why am I not different? Why am I not changing? And, I'll skip a lot of how I got here, but after years of study, I started to realize okay, in the spirit, behold, all things are made new in the spirit. So for eternity, I am made new, and I'm made new in that moment. But if I want to experience the newness, any of the newness that I want to experience, I've got to work out my salvation. My salvation, I've got to work it out. To work it out has to pass through my mind. Every single time. Every single time. So I have to work with my mind to experience wholeness. So be transformed by renewing your mind. Think on these things. As a man, as a woman thinks, so is he, so is she. It's all right there. But we're not accessing it because our spiritual leaders don't understand how a brain works. We do what we are, and we don't do what we're not. So most of the time, we think about how we're going to change. I'm going to change this way. I'm going to create a plan, and this is the way forward, and whatever. It just never, ever, ever works. We make a plan. You know what? There's someone in my life right now who has a master plan. She has a master plan. She is not doing any of it, but she talks about this plan all the time. It's hilarious. And it's very, very natural. It's what we do. So, it's not about what we think. It's not about what we feel. It's about what's programmed on our mind. And you totally get this even better than I do. Like, we're coded. Whatever is coded on our sweet little brains, we are beholden to, just like a computer. We're never going to outrun it. We're never going to outpace it. We are going to do whatever is programmed on our mind. So if we want to change, if we want to experience that, then we can't just think about it. We can't just feel it. We have to be it. We have to code ourselves differently. And that takes some work. Thankfully, you and I both know it's actually not as hard as it sounds like it is, but it's very specific. You got to work with your brain in very specific ways.
80% of our personality is set by age 6. And I'm curious how this conversation sort of segues into your parenting, Chance. You're a dad of 2 young ladies and been married a long time. Maybe talk about how this integrates into your home life.
Yeah.
And,
So during COVID, one night Jennifer was out with both girls, and they came home, and there was tension in the air. I don't know what happened in that van, but it was not good. Mama was mad. The girls were scared. Jen came walking through. She was quiet. I could just feel it. As soon as the door opened, I was like, ooh, yikes. Emmy walks upstairs. Jalen is kind of teary. And long story short, they had gotten in a little bit of a tiff. Jennifer didn't like the energy. And on that day, and it's not always this way, but on that day, it was Emmy's misstep. So everybody's tense. It's bedtime. I go up to put Emmy to bed, and she has drawn this piece of paper with a circle and all of these little offshoots. Now, this kid's like 8 years old at the time, 8 or 9, something like that. And it said, Mom and Dad love Jalen more than me in the center. And then offshoot, I have to make sure Jalen knows that she's not as good as they think she is. I have to make sure that they know she's not blah, blah, blah. I have to blah, blah, blah. So she had all these things like, because of this, I do these things. And I was looking at it broke my heart to read it. Of course, none of this is true. None of it is true. But it doesn't matter. This is what she thought in that moment. So she has a piece of paper. She's done all this stuff. I'm looking at it going, this is brilliant. Look at what this kid did. Look at what she did. Look at what she identified at 9 years old or however old she was. This was brilliant. So I looked at it and I said, hey, when did you just do this? Because it was like 5 minutes after she got home. She said, yeah, I just wrote this down. I said, how? How did you understand this? How did you know this? And she said, I always think it. I always think it. Well, I'm gripped. I'm just like, I would never want my kid to feel that way. And I feel like I parent in a way that my children would never, ever feel that way, but they're human,
Yeah.
and they have their own story, and I'm not a part of that story. It's in their mind. They are the author of that story. So I said, okay, well, we have to talk about this. This breaks my heart, and I want to help you through this if you'll let me. Will you? Okay, yes. So the next day, I took her to dinner, and because it was COVID, we went and got like a Jersey Mike sandwich. We just pull on the side, and we're just eating it, and we get done, and I said, can we talk about this? And I went through each thing. I said, there were 3 thoughts. I'm skipping some of it. I said, hey, these are really hard thoughts. These break my heart to read. Can you talk about these things? And she said, yeah, well, this and this and this. She walks me through it. And I said, wow, like, that must be so hard to feel that. And I said, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry that I've ever done anything that would make you entertain that idea. And I said, that must be really hard. We're both crying, we're both teary. And I said, can I ask you a question? And she said, yeah, after we were done with all that. Validate. And then I pivoted and I said, can I ask you a question? She said, yeah. And I said, who's stronger, the thinker or the thought? And she said,
What a brilliant question.
She said, the thinker. And I said, why? And she said, because the thinker's thinking the thought. And I said, yes, ma'am. So even though this is a very big, scary thought, it doesn't have any power. The thinker is thinking the thought. It only has the power that the thinker gives it. So if I tell you right now we're in the dark, because it was dark outside, I said, if I told you the sky is yellow, she's like, no, it's not. And I said, if I said the sky is green, no, it's not. I said, the sky is black. Yes. You agreed with that. You made an agreement with a thought. And now the thought has power. It doesn't have power until the thinker makes an agreement. And then a thought can have a lot of power. But when we understand that, like, I am the thinker of my thoughts, nothing is true except for the truth that I give to it. Chance is awesome. Chance sucks. It's just whoever the thinker is, they get to decide, and I get to decide that about myself. So we get done, we talk about it at length and whatever. And she goes, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. She goes, why are you just now telling me this?
Where have you been all my life, Dad?
Why are you just like, well, you're 8. I thought we might have a little time before we got to this. So that's just the truth about both my girls. Like, they're deep thinkers.
Yeah.
They want to know. They are, the counselors of their little groups, and they're deep wells. They're thinking a lot. But at that age, it's hard because even if you know stuff, you're still going to have to navigate it. It's really, really hard being a teenager in today's world, and I wouldn't want to do it. I'm glad I'm done. Got it done in the 80s. It was so much better. So, oh my gosh, yeah. So.
Talk about why purpose is so important.
Thank you for asking that. If there's one thing that matters to me that everybody understand, and this can sound cheesy, and I think that's why we avoid it, but, you came to my office not aligned, and you felt off, you felt stuck. And without walking through every little thing that we ever did, what we did was we aligned you to your purpose. We aligned you back to your mission. We made you believe it, and we got you where you were out of your lane. We got you back in your lane. And as soon as we did that, Stacy, would you agree? Life started working.
Yes.
It doesn't mean it's not hard. It doesn't mean we don't have to work, but now life is cooperating with us, And I think it's all about purpose. Purpose sounds cheesy. Mission sounds cheesy. It's not. It is not. It is the one thing you must get right. Everybody's like, I'm bored. I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm, whatever. I'm failing, I'm not successful, I'm not having impact. I thought I was going to be X, Y, and Z. And I hear that all day, every day. Like, that's what I hear by high achieving people. They come in and they say the same thing. Everybody's the same behind a closed door. It's all the same story. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you have and who you are. It's the same story. Some version of it.
What's the story?
I thought there was more. I thought there was more for me.
There was more.
I thought there was more for me.
Huh.
I feel behind. I feel stuck. I feel forgotten. I feel overlooked. I feel like a failure. I've screwed it up. I'm not enough. All of those things. I thought there was more for me. I hoped there would be. Is this all there is? Even people who have millions and millions of dollars and hundreds of employees, we're not living up to our potential because many times we're not aligned to our purpose. We have taken on the responsibility of the day-to-day, and we have gotten out of that alignment to the thing that we're actually here for. And so my greatest passion is to help people to understand what their purpose is, what their mission is. And there are ways to do that. Everybody who comes in, you included, they sit down, they tell me a sad story, and then they basically ask me, what should I do? And when I first started advising and coaching, I was really intimidated by the question because I didn't know these people. Very quickly, I'm supposed to assess and I'm supposed to fix their life. And inside, I'm like, am I supposed to know what everybody's supposed to do? Am I an oracle over here? It was an intimidating thing. But over and over, I did kind of get it right. I did say, this is what I think you should do. This is what I think you should do. And then it turned out that was right. So then I started analyzing it a little bit deeper into why am I right? Why am I right? And they
couldn't figure it out
on their own.
Yeah.
And that, I was like, oh, I care so much. And I see what someone's mission and purpose is. And that's just planted in me. Mm-hmm. That's just a lens that God gave me that's different than other people. And I'm just never wrong about it. I'm just never wrong. And I'm never wrong. And that is not a pat on my back. It's that it's planted in me. It's my purpose. Mm-hmm. It's my purpose is to help people to
birth their purpose.
Birth it, see it, own it, honor it, live it. I have a lens that was just given to me that helps people to see it for themselves, Such an honor to have it. But because I have that, I can tell any dysfunction I'm looking at, anything that's going wrong, it's because they're out of alignment. And so the thing that I've come to realize is what should I do is the wrong question. We got to look forward. We're trying to figure out the future, and we don't have enough data about the future because all of us have done the right things on paper, and somehow it, all went wrong. Mm-hmm. And thank God, we've done the wrong things on paper, and it's turned out okay sometimes, Mm-hmm. So we don't know. There's no way to know what we should do because you could do the right thing, it goes wrong. You do the wrong thing, it still goes right. We just don't know. We're guessing. That's all we can do. But you can know, and you must know with clarity and certainty, who am I here to be? Who am I here to be? And you can answer that question because you have a lifetime of data versus trying to figure out this unseeable future. We can look back and go, okay, the best of me back there. And for you, you're such a creative. Mm-hmm. You're also a technician. You're also a scientist. There's this science part of you, but at your heart and your core, you're such a creative. And that was the part of you that was getting overlooked. Mm-hmm. And so we had to find a way to marry this part of you and also this forgotten underserved part of you. And when you combine them, then it's like Wonder Twins. It's peanut butter and jelly, you know? It's like all of you coming together. So for anyone listening, I would look back and I would say, think about the times in your life where you changed the room. You shifted the project. It had to be you. If anybody else had been there in that moment, it wouldn't have turned out the way that it turned out. And so what we'll end up getting to is that you'll go, well, a lot of people could have served in that moment. A lot of people can coach. A lot of people can be a therapist. You know, people do the same things, but it's not about what we do. It's about how we do it, how we're different, who we're being in the midst of the doing. And if you go, okay, I am here to be strategic. I will help you find your courage. I am an absolute catalyst. You know, I'm going to propel you forward. You know, I'm going to set you in the center of who you're here to be. I'm going to put you on mission. Mm-hmm. If I can know that and I bring that wherever I go, tell me how I fail. I'm not going to fail. I've found such peace in these 2 words. Well, let's say 4 words. I suck at everything. But this one thing. I suck at everything.
Except for this one thing.
Except for this one thing. I just have the 1 talent in my hand, or the 2, or the 5. You know, if you're lucky, you get 5 things. I don't have 5 things. You know, I don't have that. I'm 1 or 2. I'm the 1 or 2 guy. But if you want me to do this or this or this, I'm going to fail you. I'm not that guy. But if you need this, I don't think anybody in the world will do it better. I don't think anybody will help you to figure out who you're here on this earth to be and to scale it. Mm-hmm. No one. I think I'm probably the best one in the world at that because it's my gift. It's my gift. And I don't even care if somebody else is doing it. Great. Awesome. I'm not in comparison at all. This is my mission. And I will spend my life doing this, you know. It's why conversations like this are important. And it's why you are such a remarkable example. I wish everybody knew your whole story. And I'm sure that you shared bits and pieces. But when you look at like what you came from and what could have been, and some people would have said should have been, but something was in you. Something was placed in you. And you did align your life to it. And in the process of doing that, you had to confront yourself. You had to lay
over and over again.
Like, what did stepping into your purpose cost you? What did you have to lay down?
Being a stay-at-home mother. Mm-hmm. Being a part of the homeschooling community, because I became a part of more of an executive crowd. Mm-hmm. It cost me, you know, memories with my children that, you know, I told myself the story that if I entered the workforce and went into a career path that was meaningful to me, that it was going to ruin my relationships with my children. Mm-hmm. That was one of my beliefs. Mm-hmm. I think the opposite is actually true. Mm-hmm. I drive my daughter, 12-year-old daughter, Della, insane. When I ask her probably 3 times a week, do you wish I was a stay-at-home mama? And she's like, no, I don't.
No.
And please don't ever ask me that again, Mom.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's
you
great.
Know?
That's great.
So I think it cost me, but it didn't really cost them. Mm-hmm. Me going and being who I am has been an asset to my children. Mm-hmm. But I think as a mom, as a female, you know, you kind of always feel like when you're at work, you wish you were at home. When you're at home, you kind of wish you were at work. I mean, there's a little bit of that going on. Mm-hmm. But when I think about staying home with my children and not doing what I've done and being home with all of them going in 4 different directions and I mean, they don't really need you. Mm-hmm. They don't need you forever. Right, you know, they need touch points and guidance. But the more I sit here and talk to you about this, I don't know that I've lost as much as I thought. I think I've gained a lot more than I've lost.
In the process, you felt like you were losing more, you know?
Yeah.
Because you had
true.
fear about, your fear was talking at the time. You know, that's why I love looking at things from this side, because you're through it. Like
Yeah.
you have, the thing that I was going to say that it cost you, it cost you your safety net. It cost you your excuse.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's what it cost you.
That's
You had
so
it.
good.
You had a reason why you couldn't. Very well thought out, very well rehearsed. You had the words on the tip of your tongue, and it kept you safe. It kept you to where you didn't have to try. You know, at one point, what do you want to say?
No, go ahead.
At one point, I remember you saying you couldn't do some things because other counselors didn't do those things. You're like, I can't do that. I share an office with someone who's been doing this for 20 years and they don't do that. I'm like, what? What? You were on a completely separate journey from that person.
Yeah.
But, you know, this was your fear speaking. All the reasons why you couldn't do something. Eventually you came to a place, I watched it happen, where you're like, hey, I'm going to die trying to become who I'm here on this earth. The fullness, the fullest expression of who I'm here on this earth to be. I'm going to die trying to become that person, you know? And when you got committed to that, you cut the safety net. You cut it. And every new choice that you make is a chance to fail, you know? And me too, by the way. Me too. You know, I miss the excuses. I miss the safety. I hate the way it feels to constantly be under threat of failure. It's not fun. I don't like it. But I will do it
Anyways.
anyway.
Yeah. Do it anyway.
Because we're here. We're here and we're not here forever. And we're here on a mission. And Stacy, Dr. Stacy, who could step into your shoes? No one.
Nope.
Who could step into my shoes? No one.
Nobody.
No one. It's up to me, and it's up to you, and it's up to them listening. You know, like, you're the only one who's standing in your shoes with your tools and your mission. So if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. And so many people live and die with this dream in their heart and mind not being expressed. And the world suffers for it. The world suffers, not them. It costs them something. It costs the world everything that they would have done, everything that they would have become, all the ways they would have helped. And that's what's going on with our world. Look around. The world is groaning because people are out of alignment with their missions. That's why. If everybody got aligned. Clear.
Really clear.
Clear.
This is who I am. This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm going to do today and why. Because this is my North Star. Everything else can fade away. I'm on this path. I'm not going to jump fairy tales and compare myself to everybody else's path.
That's
right?
it. That's it. And like, it breeds confidence. It kills comparison. There's no reason to look left or right. It's like, I'm on a solo mission, not even with my wife. She's on a different mission. You know, we're doing it together, but we're on different missions, you know? I will stand before God. When, you know, my mission started in one place, it will end in one place, and I will give an account for what I held in my hand and what I did with it. So I want to say this about business, because we've been talking a lot about purpose and mission and touchy-feely stuff, and that is the most important thing. But once you have something and you own something, what do you do with it, and how do you grow it from a very practical standpoint?
Yeah.
The thing that I've come to realize is that before you get into the doing of scaling, the belief part of it is so important. The clarity about what you're building is so important. And like, even with you, you were a solo practitioner, overwhelmed, overworked,
Very overworked.
shelved in some ways. And it was going to require for you to get help, for you to expand. And at first you were afraid, but then you accepted, okay, this is the road I'm on, and I'm going to do this. Will you talk about what your steps were? Like, you did this, and then you did this, and then you did this. And I think you probably should start with the book.
My second mama, Sue Ellen Cole, taught me a long time ago to get down on my knees, to give my life over to the care of a loving God, and ask him to show me the next right step. Because she recognized early in my 20s that I got very overwhelmed very easily. But I started that practice a long time ago. So, I wish that I could say I went and got an MBA or I, read some brilliant book about how to scale. But I really just listened to my intuition, as you do. And the next right thing was, well, when you've got too many people calling you, then you need to open a group. So the group practice was, birthed after that process. But the book was specifically because when I said the words 30-day blackout in your office, you went like this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That must be a catchy title.
Yeah.
And,
Hooked.
I had been implementing digital detoxes with children and
Yeah,
families
you
for
had.
many, many years,
Yep.
way before this was a mainstream conversation. And because I had built an entire practice off of implementing digital detoxes with families, and really a digital detox, it feels like you're going Amish, but even the Amish don't go Amish. I don't know if you know this, but even the Amish have cell phones now because they have to reach out to their furniture customers. A digital detox is really to perturb a family system, to create change, second order deep change. And I had built an entire, solo practice based on this idea that I then translated to a group practice, and then media dates and, being able to train other therapists now in the mountain method. But, I think some people have really big dreams and they make the master plan and work towards the plan, where I truly just got really clear about what meant the most to me and the impact that I wanted to make on children and families doing the next right thing. So you may have a different, a view of scaling a company or scaling a business, but I could only take the next step.
Right.
The big master plan was way too much for me.
Yeah,
be
you
able
got
to run it.
overwhelmed every time we talked about, because I wanted to create this major vision, and you could do it in a fantasy sort of way, but if it was real, you would start to balk, So we
Rock in the corner.
Yeah, we just had to breadcrumb it. For me, my recollection of those days were just, I'm being very practical so that it helps someone else.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, there are a lot of therapists out there. You need to own a subject. You need to own it. So what can you own? Well, you had worked with the Amish, you had, built the mountain method,
Yep.
and nobody knew, but it was just your way.
Right.
And part of that was this digital detox. And again, no one was talking about it at that point. You were very much ahead of the curve. And you went and wrote 30-Day Blackout, even though you were not a writer, and you were intimidated by that process. But to the glory of God, and because you were on mission, you just did it anyway.
I did it anyway.
You did it anyway. I was so proud for you, watching you submit to that grind, that very difficult process for you. But you wrote a stellar, incredible book.
Thank you.
Yes. No, thank you for doing it, because it served so many families, mine included. So thank you for saying yes, even though it was hard. And that was step one to scaling for you. Other things that I saw that eventually happened, that book made it possible then for someone to go, okay, Stacy's good. Like, I know she's great. what does she do? What would we call her for? Well, you had this book now that's like, well, this is my message. This is what I do. And people started finding it. And then now you're on the television, you're on the radio, you're doing keynote speeches. You're out there because people could finally define not this she's good, but she's great at this. She's a voice for this, you know, and people, we if we want to scale something, we have to own the category. And that can be hard to do, but just bottom line, you have to differentiate yourself from all the other people doing it. And great news, you're differentiated. Everyone is. There are always going to be people doing what we're doing. So it can feel like I'm too late. No. You're one of one. You're the only one. You're the only one here on your mission. So once you understand it, then you got to buy in and you got to believe in it and you got to invest in it, invest your time in it. You got to take some leaps around it. The good news is if you're aligned to your purpose, it will all work. It's just scary. But then if you do it, it will work. And you did that over and over and over and continue to this day. And you have scaled. I mean, we don't want to be too specific here, but I just, you know, you have 5x, 6x, 7x your business, you know, and the impact of your business, helping so many more families than you thought you could ever get to, you know. I mean, it's been amazing to watch. And what's killer is you're not unique in that way. You're not special in that way. You just followed.
That's everybody's process.
We can all
Everybody's
do it.
process.
We can all do it if we're aligned.
So let me ask you, if somebody reaches out to you, Chance, and they know that this is your area of genius, is to get like a neurosurgeon, like here's the thing, and you're able to help them align to their purpose, move through challenge and support in order to grow. What does that process look like? Do they work with you remotely? Do they come to Nashville to work with you?
Yeah,
I'm guessing you work with people all over the place.
Yeah. Probably, I would say 60% of my clients are in other states.
Okay.
So sometimes I come to them. Sometimes we just meet over Zoom. Sometimes they come to me.
Okay.
I love to meet face to face when we can, but that's not always possible. And some of my favorite clients that I've done my best work with, I've never met them in person.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
yeah, I've looked forward to the day, but it just hasn't happened yet. So the process would be just first session, like let's just get to know each other. Do you like me?
Yeah,
you know,
right.
And can I help you? And there's some stuff that people do before we get to this meeting that tells me a lot about.
A lot of data.
But it's fun. I make it like it. I don't want it to feel like homework. I don't want it to be hard.
Yeah.
But there is like a download of, hey, this is my situation, and I keep it light and simple. But I'm gonna know by looking at this, can I help this person?
Okay.
And then so the meeting is really like, hey, how do we actually work together? Because we're not getting together where it's like that first, hey, so tell me about this, and I know everything I need to know because you wrote it already. So now it's like, let's get to work, and then, hey, do you like my energy? Do I like yours? Are you gonna follow through? I will know if you're lying to me. Like I just totally know. So if we work together and we get something done, then it's like, okay, well, this might be a good fit for us, you know? And if it is, then, you know, people do different things. I think the best way is 3 months.
3 months.
I think 3 months.
3 months.
You know, and then I have some clients that I've worked with for years, and they won't fire me because we keep making money. We keep, you know, progressing. They're like, I'm not letting go. But I like the idea of committing to something for 3 months because the first month, we're going to tear a lot of things apart. The second month, we're going to put them back together. The third month, you should be doing some victory lap on your own, you know, doing some stuff on your own and kind of owning stuff that you're getting from me. You know, 3 months in, this should be yours and not mine, you know? So that first month, people are really leaning onto me, and it can be a little tough because, you know, they're out of alignment.
Yeah.
You got to get back into alignment. A lot of belief work, a lot of rewriting, reprogramming. That's something I think that separates me is like, I'm a business advisor. I'm a business coach.
Yeah.
And I'm here to build for sure. But the person is the bottleneck.
Yeah.
It's the person.
Yeah.
And I think that most people in my role do one or the other. They're a life coach and, touchy-feely, whatever, hand on the shoulder type of thing. Or it's like, okay, I'm going to build this business with you. But the integration, it feels so important to me. And I think that most people are not qualified to do both. So yeah, first 3 months, we do that. Then we'll just reassess at that point and see, do you want to keep going or are we done? And hopefully we've done a lot of great work in those first 3 months.
How can folks find you?
Well, you can email me. You can find my website, Chance Scoggins. My last name is Scoggins. ChanceScoggins.com. Of course, there's links to contact me there, but you can also find me on Instagram, on Facebook, just all the normal social media stuff.
I'm so glad that we got to hang out today.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Chance.
Oh, thank you. Hey, can I offer something to your audience?
Absolutely.
Okay. I wasn't going to do this, but I didn't know. Neither one of us knew where this conversation was going today.
Yeah.
We talked so much about mission and purpose that I want to offer you guys a gift. Long story short, because this is my swan song, this is the reason that I'm here, and I want people to know why they're here. So I created an app for all the people that I won't ever get to work with, this is how I can help for free. It's called the Mission Builder, and it's not available like in a place where you can get it. You have to reach out to me because it's just for my clients right now. But if you email me, chance@chancescoggins.com, I'm going to send it to you for free. And it is quite a gift because when you're done with it, you will have a unique, specific mission that is just yours. You'll have words for something that you've known and you've felt inside of you, or if you've been trying to get, but you could not find the words for it. And this process will help you find the words.
I love it. That's $1 million right there.
It is. I swear I use mine
Takes
every day.
You use that app every day?
I use my statement every day.
You use your
of my life.
statement every day.
I wake up every day knowing why I'm here, what the day is about, how to proceed. I'm going to go do a lot of things, but like your mission is in the Starbucks line. It's at the grocery store. It's always there. We don't have to wait for this someday thing. Like I'm on mission every day, and I think about my statement every day. And everybody who's done it, they tell me the same thing. It's like it was the key that unlocked all this other
and
stuff.
It simplifies.
Yeah.
Simplifies your day.
Yeah. You can just say no to anything that's not aligned.
That's not
to that.
aligned. That's so good.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you, Chance.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
So good. Thanks for having me. So good.
Yep.